Hey there, I am Parth Doshi, exploring the field of RPA and sharing my learnings with you by making videos. So, this video is going to be on UiPath forms. Since there are many new updates in UiPath form, I thought of making some video on that as well. So, this video is going to be very interesting, and we are going to learn very interesting things in this, which can be implemented further, maybe in your some use cases or in your organization. So let me give you a quick overview of what we are going to say in this video. In this video, first of all, we are going to create a form, order details form. Now, after that, what we are going to do is we are going to create dependent drop downs. Now, what do I mean by dependent drop downs? So suppose you are selecting a product, say book with a pack of 24. Now the price of that is 400. Now, after that, you are giving in the form quantity 4. So the total amount of your order becomes 1600. So now how we are going to apply this logic in the form itself. So we are going to see all these different kinds of things in UiPath form. So let's get started. Now to use UiPath form, you need to install the package uipath.form.activities. Now once you do that, you will have an activity create form. So this is the create form activity that we are going to use. Now in create form, I'm going to open the form designer. Now I have already created the form, but I'm going to show you a step-by-step complete process of what and where logic I am applying. Now there you can see there are 4 components: basic components, advanced, layout, data. We are going to use basic and advanced. Now the first field which you can see is the name. The text field is going to be a text field component. So inside you can see I have given the label name. Now what I'm going to do is in validation I'm going to make this field required. Now there are many other options to give minimum or maximum length, but that can't be in the case of length. Now if you want to give a regular expression pattern, you can give that. If you want to display the custom error message or error label, like if the name is not entered, then you want to give customized errors like please enter the name, please enter the phone number, like that, you can use that. Now this was going to be a simple text field. Next we are going to use an advanced component which is going to be phone number. So I have dragged the phone number over here. Again the same thing, in the validation I have kept it as required, so this field is always required. Now the third thing, now from here the main important part of creating a completely dynamic and a very useful form get starts. So in select product settings, what I have done is in the validation it is going to be required. Now till now we had display data, validation, field key and conditional, but now we have in conditional also we have advanced conditions. I will be making video on that as well. But now here we are going to use the logic tab. So let me show you what I have done. In the data I have given 3 options: book pack of 12. So if this particular label product is selected in the drop down, its value is going to be 400. Okay, so now you see the value of this label is 400. That is the price of that particular product. Book pack of 12, and the bracket in the value tab I am giving 400. Now pen pack of 12, again 60, writing pad 5 piece 250. So this is the drop down I am going to create. Now my label book pack of 12 has the value 400, which I am going to use further. After that my pen has 60, writing pad has 250. So let me save this. And now price per quantity. So in this we are define the price per quantity for each quantity. So for one pack of 12 the price is okay. So this is getting changed because of some error. Let me just save this. I was trying something, so it is because of that. Now here I'm going to use this logic tab. In this you can see I've created one logic. If not, when you click on add logic, you will be seeing this particular fields. So let me edit this The first type, you can see the trigger I'm giving is JavaScript. There are simple JSON logic and event. There will be videos on that as well. But for now, we are using JavaScript. And here I'm doing return true. Now after that, the main logic which we are applying over here is going to be per quantity. So now what I want to be displayed in this field is when book pack of 12 is selected in this particular field, there it should display its price, that is per quantity, which is going to be 400. Now to do that, we are going to use type. It can be property, it can be value, it can be merge component schema. We will be seeing videos on this as well. But for now, it is going to be value, and I'm going to return data dot select product. So whatever data or whatever value is there of that particular selected item in the drop down, it is going to return to me that particular value in this text box. So to again make it clear, we are using a JavaScript trigger which is going to be of type value, and here we are passing return. So data is what you have to use if you want to get the value of that particular selected drop down. So it is going to be data dot select product. Select product is my field key, which I will show you. Okay, so first let me show you the select product. So you can see select product is the name and the field key. So this is the property name which you can see. Now after that, okay, so let us just remove this because it is showing some error. See, okay, so in price per quantity we have the logic as we saw. Edit, it is return data dot select product. Now the value of that particular drop down will be shown over here. Let me save this. Okay, so first we have to save action, save the logic. So this is a logic we have added over here. See, now quantity is what the user will be giving the input. It is a simple field, it is a number field. So here we'll be saying quantity, which is going to be whatever user types, 5 6. Now to make it more, you can say, useful and easy to use, what we are going to do is, now we know the product name, we know its per quantity value. What we are going to do is, in quantity we are going to take 5. So if my per quantity price is 200, I'm going to do the calculation 200 into 5 in the form itself and not outside the form. So this is a feature. Normally when we do, we can't add this particular field to let the user see the total amount. First, that particular update was not available, but now you can add that kind of logic over here. So now what I'm going to do, once the quantity is entered by the user, I'm going to multiply price per quantity into quantity of products and show it in the total amount. So let's see how we are doing that. Again, we are going to use the same logic as we saw in the previous field. Edit, it is JavaScript, here it is written true. Edit, in total amount I'm doing data dot price per quantity into data dot quantity. So again, these are the field key values of that two fields. So what I'm doing is I am multiplying my the data which is there in price per quantity and in quantity, and saving it over here and showing it over here. Not saving, but you can see we are returning that particular value. So it will show me that value over here. So let me save the logic as well. So I hope you were able to understand this, but let me just show this again, this particular code. So return data dot field key of the first field which I want, multiplied by data dot the field key of the second field which I want to get multiplied. Now once that is done, I'm going to save this logic and save. So this is done. So now what should be the ideal outcome of this form according to us is name, phone number, and when product is selected, we should see the price of that product in price per quantity. After that, when quantity is entered, we should be able to see the total amount which is going to be price per quantity into quantity. So let me save this form and close this, and here we are not doing any further process because this is the video just to help you understand the complete useful or the complete new updates of this particular thing. So I'm just going to do run file. So now name is going to be Parth Doshi, my phone number. So now you see, as soon as I selected writing pad, the price per quantity came over here, which was set over there. Now, when I type any particular value over here, let me type 1, you see the total amount is 250, 2, 500, and it is showing me the error as well required, 3, 750. And now you see we have kept this as read only, so no one can change this particular data. So you see the calculation is done dynamically over here into 10. If I do into 100, whatever we want to do, we can do that. So quantity we are going to keep it 10. So now you can use this data outside the form if you want and do whatever processing you want. Maybe you want to enter into Excel, or maybe you want to create some file and send it via mail. You can do all the further applications, and when I click on submit, we'll see a message box, order placed. Sorry for the spelling mistake over here. But you see, we were successfully able to build a completely, we can say, a dynamic form, which also had the JSON logic in it, and we were successfully able to build the complete logic. And I think we were able to do this in less than maybe 10 minutes or around 10 minutes, and we were successfully able to build the complete form. So I hope you got a clear understanding of some of the new features of UiPath form, how we can use it, what are its capabilities, and in what cases this can be used. So let me give you an use case where we can do this is, so once you have this data, maybe you can have an Excel template or a Word template or anything. You can write this particular data from the form, and if you want to learn that how we can access the data outside the form and all, I have a complete playlist of UiPath forms on that. There are videos already over there, which I will be sharing the link as well. So you can access that data outside the form. Maybe you can create some PDF or something, and you can mail it to a particular email ID, or maybe you can also ask for a user email ID. So this can be a good use case. So I hope you were able to understand anything. If not, you can definitely contact me on my contact details in the description, or else you can comment below in the comment section. Subscribe now to learn something new every day, and thank you for watching the complete video.